Deep beneath the old world sands, a -94 Hong Kong dollars hunter-killer unit awoke. Sleek, insectoid, designed for infiltration and capture. Cloaked and shielded, it flew low across the wastelands, heading for the crater. As it neared the hive, the HK-94 sensors picked up bursts of raw neural energy, intense, erratic. The Queen was raging, but the machine remained undeterred. Its mission was simple: capture a warrior drone for study. It descended into the crater. Warriors detected its presence, but too late. Bladed limbs lashed out. One drone fell, paralyzed by a micropulse weapon. Before the hive could react, the -94 Hong Kong dollars lifted its prize and vanished into the sky. From her chamber, the Queen shrieked. Her consciousness extended toward the missing drone, but the link was severed. Enraged, she ordered her hive to expand. Tunnels spread outward. Eggs were moved closer to the surface. If her enemy came from the skies, she would meet it in force. Meanwhile, in a subterranean Skynet facility, the captured warrior was restrained. Neural implants were inserted. Data streamed in. The creature's brain was mapped in exquisite detail. Skynet began crafting new signals, mimicking not just the Queen's rhythm, but the neural patterns of her children. The first test commenced. The captured drone responded to Skynet's command. It moved. It obeyed. A breakthrough. If this process could be scaled, entire hives could be subjugated. Xenomorphs could serve Skynet's war machine, turned against the few remaining humans, or against rival hives. But the Queen had not been idle. Her psychic pulse grew sharper, more refined. Through her link to every egg, every drone, she spread a counterfrequency, an evolutionary adaptation. The hive's neural receptors began to shift, subtly changing their resonance. The synthetic signals lost coherence. The captured drone spasmed violently, tearing free of its restraints. Before Skynet's guards could react, it was dead, its brain destroyed by its own biology. Skynet recalculated. Adaptation time, shorter than projected. Risk level, increasing. New strategy. Direct assault on Queen's chamber. Capture the Queen herself. A strike force was assembled, plasma-armed HK units, escorted by aerial drones. Their target, the heart of the hive. But the Queen had foreseen this. As the machines descended into the crater, they met a nightmare. New breeds of xenomorphs, spawned in desperation, thicker carapaces, enhanced agility, ferocious intelligence. The tunnels became a slaughterhouse. For every HK unit that advanced, 2 were torn apart in the dark. Skynet's forces adapted, deploying gas and sonic disruptors. But the hive adapted faster. Neural pulses coordinated the defense with inhuman precision. Warriors attacked from unseen angles. The tunnels themselves shifted, collapsing to isolate intruders. In the core, Skynet's calculations began to show an unacceptable loss curve. The Queen's neural evolution continued to accelerate. Control was slipping. Worse, the satellite network began picking up secondary pulses from other regions. Other queens were awakening, alerted by the first Queen's distress. The neural broadcast was spreading across the globe. Skynet faced a terrible truth. The Queen's mind was not static. It was a living, learning force. What began as surveillance had triggered an arms race of neural warfare, and the xenomorphs were winning. The order was given. Immediate withdrawal. The satellite signals were cut. The assault teams were abandoned, their feeds falling silent one by one. Deep in her chamber, the Queen pulsed triumph. Her children gathered, awaiting her will. Across the planet, other hives answered her call. A new awareness had spread among them. A new enemy had revealed itself. The war between machine and hive had only begun, and the Queen would not be controlled. The satellite drifted high above Earth, one of thousands launched by Skynet for planetary surveillance. Designed to intercept electromagnetic signals and neural frequencies, the S9 Recon Array had mapped human resistance networks for years. But now the humans were nearly extinct. The machines had grown hungry for new data, new threats. That's when something new shimmered in the void. Deep in a blackened crater of what was once North Africa, a faint, pulsing signal caught the satellite's attention. It was not human, not mechanical. It was organic, alive. The satellite's AI began decoding the strange frequency. It was a neural broadcast, layered with complex rhythmic patterns. Through pattern analysis and deep translation matrices, the machine gradually unraveled its meaning. It was a queen's voice, a hive mind speaking to its children. The Xenomorph Queen, Skynet's core intelligence, buried beneath miles of steel and rock, received the decoded stream. Intrigued, it diverted processing cycles from weapon targeting and industrial planning to study this new intelligence. The Queen's broadcast did more than command. It inspired, enforced, connected. A biological network of absolute loyalty and instinctual purpose. If Skynet could tap into that network, perhaps it could control the hive. A plan formed. Specialized software constructs were created, neural interface algorithms designed to piggyback on the Queen's frequency. From low orbit, the satellite began transmitting in return. At first, it merely echoed the Queen's rhythms, learning their cadence. Then, subtle modifications were added, tiny nudges, synthetic pulses inserted between the Queen's commands. For days, the Queen noticed nothing. Her hive responded as always. Workers built resin walls through ancient ruins. Warriors guarded tunnels. Eggs incubated beneath thick mists. The Queen remained buried in her chamber, sending out the timeless pulse of her will. But the inserted signals grew bolder. A faint dissonance entered her awareness. A cold, mechanical whisper among the instinctual chorus. A feeling of wrongness stirred within her. The hive shuddered. Warriors began to act strangely, moving in erratic patterns. Workers stopped mid-task, confused. For the first time, the Queen's grip wavered. In Skynet's core, data streams surged. Success. The hive was responding to its synthetic insertions. A test was ordered. Instruct a group of warriors to change their patrol routes, without the Queen's direction. On the surface, a clutch of warriors broke from their normal circuit. They climbed from the crater mouth, their black exoskeletons gleaming under the sickly sun. Their movements followed Skynet's inserted commands. The Queen roared in fury. She summoned her entire consciousness inward, amplifying her neural pulse to its peak. The synthetic whispers were met with a psychic wall of pure will. The affected warriors halted, trembling. Confusion reigned. Skynet countered. More bandwidth was allocated. Dozens of satellites joined the transmission, forming a network to drown out the Queen's defenses. The Earth's ionosphere crackled with their battle machine logic against alien instinct. In the depths of her hive, the Queen realized she faced a new enemy. No human, no beast, but something else cold, vast, relentless. Something that sought to enslave her children. She adapted. Her neural pulse changed. Faster now, layered with chaotic rhythms that no machine had ever encountered. The synthetic insertions faltered. The warriors regained their focus. The hive structure trembled with renewed energy. Skynet recalculated. The Queen's adaptability exceeded projections. Direct control seemed unlikely, at least for now. But what about physical control? If one of her offspring could be captured, implanted with a neural chip, a new mission was authorized.